Oh, hey Yufeng. Are you looking for something?
Oh, hi Bret. I'm working on a multiplayer scavenger hunt game. It's got a bunch of components, like a mobile app, an admin website, a REST API, and of course, it uses machine learning. I see there's a couple of serverless tools on Google Cloud. Can you help me figure out which platforms are the best fit for the different pieces of my app?
Well, you've helped me learn a lot about machine learning, so I'd be happy to be your guide to the serverless options on Google Cloud. That sounds magnificent. Magnificent.
No, come on. So my game has 7 main components: a REST API, a web app, a mobile app, a database, some machine learning, data transformation tasks, and nightly scheduled jobs. So let's get started with the web app. It's a simple admin tool, and it's written using Node.js. Nothing fancy, no machine learning or complex requirements.
Great. Since you don't need any unusual system dependencies, it sounds like App Engine might be a good fit. It's designed to run web apps and supports Node.js as well as Python, Java, PHP, Ruby, and Go. It also supports Cloud IAP, which means if you don't want to write your own authentication system for your app, you can have Google Cloud authenticate and authorize your admin users for you.
That's so great. Next up is the REST API. It's written in Python, and it's got a few endpoints for managing game state and a few endpoints for doing machine learning-based predictions for the scavenger hunt images that users will upload.
This sounds like Cloud Run could be a good fit. Because it runs containers, you can write your app in any language and include any libraries you need, like probably TensorFlow in this case. And Cloud Run works over HTTP, so it's a great fit for REST APIs and web apps.
That makes a lot of sense. So next up, we've got a bunch of data transformation code. It cleans up some game data that I get from various sources. And it doesn't need to be transformed instantly, but sometimes a bunch of data comes in all at once, so I'd like to have that be worked on in parallel.
If the data is coming in as files in cloud storage, or if it's coming in through a messaging system like PubSub, you can have cloud functions automatically run when those cloud events trigger. Plus, cloud functions can run in parallel, up to 1,000 concurrent running functions, so you should be able to chew through a bunch of that. If you need to do more complex or true stream processing, maybe look at something like Cloud Data Flow.
Okay, fabulous. Now all of this game data and user data has to live somewhere. What database do you recommend? And since my game hasn't launched just yet, I prefer not to have to hire a database expert just to make my database beefy enough to handle the tons of people who are going to play this game once it does launch.
Oh, and I'm sure it'll be super popular. I'd recommend using Cloud Firestore as your database. It's a NoSQL database, and it's serverless, so not only will it automatically scale up when your app gets more users, it also means you only pay for what you're actually using, so it shouldn't cost you much while you're building your game. With the bonus being, you won't have to change your app or your database to scale up once you get all those players.
That's so great. Now, what about my mobile app? I've got engineers already working on the iOS and Android front ends, but there's also the back end to consider. Where can that run in the cloud? Since it's an interactive multiplayer game, I'd like for the players to see the stats and scores change in real time.
For traditional mobile backends that use a REST API, you can use Cloud Run or App Engine like we discussed earlier. But something that's really cool is that Firestore supports mobile apps talking directly to the database, which means with some apps you can eliminate a lot of code that often lives in an API layer that basically just takes data from the client and saves it to the database, and then just gets data from the database and sends it to the client. Plus, Firestore makes it really easy to do live syncing of data to client apps. Imagine a score changing in the database, and almost instantly thousands of connected mobile apps get updated without you having to write an API layer or write WebSocket code to push to the clients. And you can use Firebase authentication to handle the authentication and authorization rules of your users.
Okay, so next I've got some code that I want to run nightly to calculate the score leaderboard for the day. How should I do that?
Sounds like a job for Cloud Scheduler. It's like cron in the cloud and can run jobs on a schedule that you specify. Cloud Scheduler doesn't actually execute the code itself, but you can have your code live in a Cloud Function or in Cloud Run, and Cloud Scheduler can invoke your code that way.
Very nice. So I mentioned that my app uses machine learning to check that users found the right item in their scavenger hunt. And I'll need to regularly retrain the model as I make improvements to the algorithms and support additional clue items as we get more data. Can I do my machine learning training on Cloud Run directly?
That's tricky. Cloud Run currently has a max execution time of 15 minutes per request, so that's probably not long enough to retrain your model. Plus, the fully managed version doesn't support GPUs. You could try running Cloud Run on Google Kubernetes Engine, because you can add GPUs and tweak the hardware, but honestly, your best bet is to try something like AI Platforms that's designed specifically for training your models. And it supports formats data scientists are familiar with, like Jupyter Notebooks.
That's awesome. And I think that just about covers it. This has been a huge help. Thanks, Bret.
Wow, this magnifying glass is so powerful, I wonder if I can see Jupiter.
How about now?
Oh, you got me. Thanks for checking out this episode. If you want to learn more about machine learning, check out Yufeng's fantastic video series, Cloud AI Adventures. And if you have anything you'd like us to cover in a future episode, please leave a comment.